Welcome you to BeMoreNews.com, the news before the news, where we uncover the truth here at 1410 Bush Street with the one and only Councilman Karen. How are you, sir?
Donnie, how are you this morning?
We're good. It doesn't get more Baltimore than this.
Well, I've worked in a lot of elections, Donnie, in my lifetime, over 75 elections, not just campaign, but elections. But to see this kind of energy level 5-6 months out on a cold, rainy Saturday morning for the mayor, Rawlings Blake, is very impressive. Good cross section of the city of Baltimore here. A lot of community leaders in here. You saw Mark Washington from the Coldstream Host and Montebello community introduced the mayor. So this is a very impressive kickoff for the volunteer base that the mayor is going to have a campaign that's going to be very functional and going to get the job done.
I found it interesting that the mayor alluded at least twice while I was present to former Mayor William Donald Schaefer.
Well, obviously, everyone in Baltimore knows that, and of course, I hope that the governor and former controller and former mayor and former council president, former councilman Schaefer is doing well. I know he's had some health problems recently, and I know that he's the type of individual that will speak his mind about who he thinks should be the next leader of Baltimore. And obviously, the mayor alluded to that he would be willing to give his blessings, and at least indicated that remains to be seen officially. But I think it bodes well that Rawlings Blake is following in the footsteps of a mayor from back in the 70s and 80s that got things done. Do it now, mayor. Get it done, and that's what we need now. Let's move forward, Baltimore. A mayor that's got to be a hands-on, get it done, and move forward.
You know, last night the president and Congress voted for the largest cut ever, annual spending cut, so as to keep the federal government operating. When you think back to, well, the mayor alluded to the $121 million deficit, the blizzard, challenges as soon as she came in the door, how is the local economy?
Well, obviously, hopefully we're recovering at the same pace that the rest of the nation is. Obviously, it was a deep hole. The 8 years of George Bush put us in a hole. We're trying to work out of that hole, dig out of that hole. 4 years of Bob Ehrlich, the second term of Governor Martin O'Malley will try to get us out of that hole. All the economies of the different states are in the same boat. Budget deficits in California, historic proportions. Budget deficits in New York, historic proportions. So the state and the local leadership here is doing as best as they can under the budget restraints that's going on. And I know it's not an easy job when you got to start to cut priorities. But what happened last night in Washington, D.C., obviously our president, his leadership ought to be commended. There are certain factions in the new House of Representatives that say they are members of the Republican Party, but they really are much more right wing of the Republican Party and farther out right than most of the mainstream Republicans are trying to curtail certain activities and using the budget to curtail those activities. I believe the middle class and those that can least afford to pay for services that the government provides, if those services were not left on the table, that would be a great victory for the tea baggers. And I'm glad that our president is standing up to them the best he can.
When you think of an issue, you are a great person to answer this. One of the issues that Jane Miller has raised about the city of Baltimore is that we have over 600 police officers per 100,000. Can you give us any enlightenment on what that means or what it has meant or where we stand nationally?
Well, obviously I don't have the numbers with the other major cities. For that, I know that our police do a great job. We need to keep bringing new police in through new classes, recruits in to continue doing the job they do. We lose too many police to attrition, to retirement. So I know that the police is doing a great job on leadership of Fred Befield and our mayor. Whether we have too many police per 100,000, we have some needs in Baltimore. I believe that because of the peculiar situation in our town and what I like to call the frontier mentality of guns and gun violence, we need to have all our police resources we need to fight frontier mentality. Just this past week, there were 7 shootings on the west side with 2 murders.
You think unemployment has anything to do with it?
Well, I know the economy does. Sure it does. With the issues of the economy, you're going to see a lot of different sort of monetary crimes. I know that
People are desperate.
Sure they are. Sure they are. And this is what's going to happen. It comes back to all jobs. It comes back to resources. It comes back to what the families, family units can stay together. So I know that the police department of Baltimore is not going to receive any cuts in this upcoming budget. The fire department won't receive any cuts. We'll be able to sustain the fire department's budget for fire suppression units. The police department patrol unit is going to remain virtually intact. Funding for that. We're going to have funding for new recruits coming in. We need to have public safety #1 priority of the government. Obviously, public safety is. Education of our children is the second priority. So we need to move
think
forward.
we're doing well in education? I mean, Nancy Grasmick, state school superintendent, stepping down. Maryland has been touted as having one of the best state educational systems in the country. At the same time, I look at the 2 majority black jurisdictions are at the bottom of the totem pole in Maryland. That's Baltimore City and Prince
That's
George's
historically been the situation, I believe. But I know under Andres Alonso's leadership in Baltimore, we've moved forward. I would hate to see us lose him to Chicago, which has been reported in the newspapers recently. Take on another challenge out there. I know Rahm Emanuel, the new Democratic nominee for mayor of Chicago, has indicated he'd like to reach out to Dr. Alonso. I think we need to have need our state school board to maintain, our city school board to maintain Dr. Alonso the best that he can do by extending his contract. I wish that would have been done last year before these rumors come up that he might be leaving. His leadership has been good for our city. So,
my daddy used to always talk about using local talent. Why do we always go to New York and other places when we have some? I mean, one, we have some of the greatest institutions academically in the entire country, and secondly, we have a pool of people here in Baltimore who are just dynamic across the state.
Well, obviously, sure we do, and as you see, we have the leadership of our police department came up through the ranks. Obviously, the fire chief came from Minnesota, Minneapolis, and our executive of the school system, Lonzo, came from New York. But you want to get the best people, no matter where they're from. They could be from the moon, they could be from Mars. If they're the first person for the job and to do the job and get the results, that's the person we need to have, regardless of race, regardless of locality they come from. The best person for the job to get the job done is what we should seek.
All right, one last question. I'm going to end this on a lighter note. What will the Baltimore Orioles do this year?
The Baltimore Orioles, well, I'll tell you what, that was impressive opening day, the energy level down there. But unfortunately, I believe the hitting will stay in, it will be good with Lee in the lineup. He'll get hot soon. And with Vladimir, he's going to be good. They're going to anchor to be in the middle of the lineup. But as you know, in the long term in baseball, it's about pitching. And we need to make sure our arms hold up in August, not just in April and May. And that's going to be the test for the Orioles. Buck is definitely a positive influence on the team as they move forward. Hopefully that Mr. Angelos will give him the reins and run it instead of letting now and his family members to run the team. And the Orioles will get back to the Orioles that they've been before. The magic will come back.
Who's loved more, the Ravens or the Orioles?
Oh, right now it's the Ravens. Yeah, you know,
good answer.
Everybody loves a winner, but in the long-term thing.
But when I was a kid, we had junior Orioles. We had things where the Baltimore Orioles organization engaged the community. You sure do get a lot of stuff.
Oh yeah.
Getting those bleacher seats out there and the nosebleed section.
Well, the difference between the Orioles and the Ravens, obviously, the baseball games is much more family-friendly atmosphere to take your children. To take maybe your first date, and you have somebody. If you take your children to the Ravens game, you don't wind up getting beer spilled on you and some foul language thrown around. It's a little bit more adult entertainment level value for the Ravens. But everyone wants to love a winner. But most times, people in Baltimore, they just want your team to be competitive, to be trying. And obviously, the last several years, they didn't think the Orioles just didn't have that competitive edge. With Buck Showalter, they have that competitive edge back, that edge to be competitive and will be a winner.
Good deal. Any final thoughts?
That's it. Actually, a final thought I do have with you, Donnie. I know this budget process is working against all of us in elected government and in the city of Baltimore residents and all. Many years ago, I took on the issue of the smoking ban and made that happen. took on the tobacco industries and made that happen. The smoking ban, I worked on that for many years, and the health and welfare of the citizens of Baltimore is much better. The issue I'm working on the last couple of years, and especially through the budget process and through the legislative process, is animal control issues, animal issues. It's horrible to see all the animal cruelty that goes on in this town, trying to do the best we can to mitigate that animal cruelty. No one really gets involved until you see a high-profile case on the TVs or newspaper, like the dog Phoenix that was burned, or the cat Mittens that was burned, and stuff like that. But the routine animal cruelty that goes in this town, and the funding for animal services is what I'm trying to help mitigate the cuts to animal services and to BARCS, the Baltimore Animal Rescue Care Shelter. I just believe that animal services and animal cruelty is also a public safety issue. Just as the rec centers closing, swimming pool closings, it's a public safety issue. So I'm working, having a little tunnel vision right now, trying to work through this budget process to restore the funding cuts to animal services and to the animal shelter.
Good deal. Thank you for your time.
Good.
One and only Councilman.
Good.
Karen.
Thank you,
Yes,
Donnie.
sir.
Always ready to talk to you.
Yes, sir.
Take care.
Keep watching BeMoreNews.com, the news before the news, where we uncover.
How much that going to wind up?